Good morning and happy Saturday, LinkedIn friends, Value First Nation. Welcome to a fun episode of Tech Stack Reimagined here with Nico and got special guest George B. Thomas joining us today. We couldn't get enough yesterday after the Friday morning show.
Mm,
30 minutes was certainly not enough to talk
no.
about all things Google. So here we are. How you fellas doing? Pretty good Friday?
Doing good. Doing great, especially today. Very excited about today. And yeah, yeah, doing good.
Yeah, I'm doing good. Friday was great. It's good to be in the weekend. I am optimistically worried about where my brain will be after the next hour and so minutes. I tried to get as much done as I could this morning before the show, in the understanding of like I feel like I'm gonna want to play the rest of the day once I know hopefully the things that I think are gonna unlock in my brain. So happy but nervous at the same time. I don't know. I
Oh,
don't
nervous energy is
Yeah.
same as excited energy, so
Yes.
all
It's
good.
all energy.
And so on that note, one of our goals today is to help George understand how to go from uh, basically prompt to published on a website domain
Yeah.
that he owns.
Mhm.
Um, but also, and I think this applies to most in our audience, for me, why I do most of the content is that I want to make it really impossible for anybody to use the excuse I didn't know,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Because that I think definitely in our ecosystem right now, that's the number one reason for people not getting more out of the stuff they're paying for is that they just don't know. And I get it. Everything's moving so fast. Um, and once you know, I know you'll find a bunch of other excuses not to move forward, but you won't be able to use that one. Is our goal. And with AI, like once you see some of the stuff, most of the other excuses you think you might have, they're just gonna go away when you see us do it one time, and then when you do it one time. Um, so it's gonna be a fun ride. Now, right before we went live, Nico, George mentioned that he wants to be a learner today. Uh,
Yeah.
so a learner comes up and says, "Hey, man, I heard Gemini 3 just dropped. Where do you even start?"
Uh it's you start with Gemini, right? You start right out the gate with the regular good old Gemini interface. And I think it's really getting used to I mean, I wouldn't even say getting used to. I think that's the best part about it is there's no it feels like you're finally talking to something that is a digital intelligence that feels like a natural extension, feels naturally like you're working with another person, um, both in response, uh, in what you're getting, the conversation, the writing, pretty much everything about it. The coding is insane. The But that's neither here nor there. Video generation is still pretty good depending on what you ask for, and of course, there's more nuance to it than you'll see from like Sora and other generators. But yeah, I think it starts with just using it really, like stepping out of your comfort zone. Because I know even yourself, Chris, like yeah, I know you're a huge cloud proponent, and it's got to feel weird at first, right? That like, oh man, I'm using this thing that I don't know. It's like it does, it's got something to it. There's this je ne sais quoi that I just can't figure it out. What I don't know. And
Yeah.
that's to me, that's why being agnostic is like it's a huge advantage, because I'm telling you, if you're on GPT, moving to this really, like, especially if you're that type of person, it's like, yeah, well, I use GPT because the way it talks to me, blah blah blah. Okay, well, try Gemini now, and then tell me that the conversations you're having with GPT are anything like the conversations that you'll have with Gemini.
So it's interesting, Nico, to hear you say that. And I know I'm being a learner today, but I also have thoughts. There's a video in my queue because I probably downloaded on my phone last night. I'm not even bullshitting, like 27 videos to watch at a later date. And one that really caught my eye was Gemini or Google figured out RAG. And I want to watch what they're talking about there because my brain goes to that, like, my Google Drive is my rag. And if that's the case, then like there's just fundamentally things that I think I want to do or act or implement differently inside of what has just always been like, oh, let me throw that there so it's not on my desktop. Anyway, I'll pause and
Yeah.
just, you know what I mean? Like,
And
I think that's why what you're saying is like, I want to see if I can connect those dots to what you're saying and what that video alluded to,
Hmm.
and what I think is happening based on me going in and just starting to kind of use it or talk to Gemini 3.
yeah. And just a couple quick clarifications uh, on that note, right? Like, I wanted to share, and I'm gonna let Nico drive after this, but this like card that comes up, right? Unlock next gen AI with Google AI Ultra for Business. I do not have AI Ultra for Business,
I don't
and I'm
either.
gonna be able to use all of the stuff that we're talking about today. My $25 Google Workspace account allows me to use all of the things.
Because Ultra's
Right.
like $300 a month, I think.
Right.
I think it's like 299
Now,
or something like
now
that.
through the course of my journey in anti-gravity, or yeah, anti-gravity, I've run into some limits. This is how I would get rid of those limits, but I don't need to worry about that right now. So a lot of the tools, so don't let this scare you or misinform, like, oh, I'm not going to be able to use this stuff unless I get paid $300 a month. Not the case. To George's point, um, similar to what happened with Breeze and HubSpot at Inbound, like all of a sudden Breeze became this layer of HubSpot instead of all these separate tools that weren't seeing each other and talking to each other. Gemini 3.0 is now integrated with the rest of the Google stack, right? And that is a huge deal. And you should expect, like, if you just know that, you should expect a better, more contextual experience when you jump in. So just wanted to make that abundantly clear. If you have a work Google email, gemini.google.com, and that's how you get started.
Yeah, and I mean the changes to things, uh, just in terms of what you're used to with Gemini already. Like, I know that you're used to um, some stuff when it comes to, like, I don't know, seeing, like, doing research and having Gemini do some research for you and looking things up, or obviously doing coding for you. And what's crazy about the coding aspect of it is the fact that it will, like, not only go and finish the front end for you, but the fact that, like, it'll write for, I don't know, thousands. It'll write thousands of lines of code, like whatever it takes in order to get what it is that you need. Um,
I knew it was only a matter of time before we get this question.
Oh,
Will you turn Hub Helper Harry into a gem?
You know, it's kind of funny that you ask that.
Oh, watch out.
You know, when Google allows us to share gems, believe me, oh wow. Whoa. Wait,
Yeah.
what?
Yeah, you can share gems.
Oh, this is new.
So now imagine
Oh, friends.
well, here's the thing though. Now imagine this world.
Upgrade.
So imagine this world where you have a HubSpot landing page and somebody pays you a one-time fee of XYZ, and now you give them access to a gem that you've created that only they get because they give you like a one-time fee or a monthly whatever. Like
Mhm.
Google is literally unlocking commerce by the ability to share the creativity of the thing that you might have in your rag drive and the ability to build instructions. Like, so I'm going to let the cat out the bag of why I'm excited about today. And it has nothing to do with HubSpot, by the way. Even though I love HubSpot and I do a lot of stuff around HubSpot. But I'm sitting here going, after today, will I be able to actually build this magical leadership app that I've been contemplating on, of like the superhuman leadership, like like this thing, web app, uh, iPhone app, whatever, and what happens from like a conversate with said app based on, like, in a gem is conversation based on information that anyway. I'll shut up. I'm here to learn.
The best way to learn, George?
Is to do.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, and I think that the whatever skills you currently have, like, I mean, I legitimately I did not know about being able to share gems. I've been waiting for that for some time now, so that's gonna drop right after this show. I'm just gonna tweak a couple things in there that need to be tweaked for public use, and then out it goes.
Yeah,
Um,
and that was real interesting, like, as you went to do that. That's why as we move across models, like, they all do it a little bit differently. It takes when you went to share it, it was like, "Oh, well, then these people need all this access, like, related to the gem," which hasn't
right.
been a thing in the other projects or custom GPTs or anything, right? But
Mhm.
it makes sense, and that's where when you can granularly manage, to George's point, I mean, this changes how you should think about what's how you can serve customers and
Yep.
what kind of experiences you can create. And I think that's going to be an underlying theme of today's show because all of these things, like if you're still making like gated PDFs and ebooks and shit, like what? No,
What's the point?
like just no.
See, like, and just because of this, like, I'm not gonna lie, Harry on GPT has been really good up to now. Really good. Not not the caliber that I would like. And I have put work into this dude and serious amounts of time into the data and all that kind of stuff. When I use gems, I just don't have to worry about it because it's like George, like if you don't know yet, it's like using Notebook. Only now it's like open to everything, right? And it's like specified your stuff, but to me, it's like they are one and the same. Like in that. Oh, and I don't know if you guys. So I'm just gonna take one step over to the Google Suite stuff. But before I do that, real quick, me and Gemini, we've gotten closer over
Yeah.
the last few months. So let's see. The man in the business, George is widely known as a HubSpot helper and an educator. Sidekick Strategies, the podcast, the Hub Heroes, Helping Humans.
Now I'm curious, George. Do you
Wow.
have it anywhere um, that
Oh,
says
Loop
my
marketing.
my marketing ethos is helping humans?
No.
That's not something you would say, right?
That is not something I have put in print online. No.
Right.
This
So
is
this
now
is
Gemini.
Gemini's
Like, yes,
interpretation
of
of
me.
George's brand,
Yes.
and I'm pretty sure it's on the money, right, George?
Oh yeah, it's on the money. But like, look, dude, the fact that it's like be the blessing, authenticity over algorithms, like simplifying the complex. Like Homeboy is knocking it out the park. Of like, if I could tell somebody in a synopsis all about like, look, teaching you to fish, the superhuman framework, loop marketing. By the way, I've only started to talk about loop marketing like 4 weeks ago, 6 weeks ago. Um, like,
Yeah.
come on.
Yeah. There's so much, like, that's the thing. Like, we constantly talk about it. Like, get out of your quarterly annual schedules. There's so much opportunity here, but you have to start creating valuable content in different ways
Yeah.
that usually don't align with what campaign are we shipping this quarter?
Yeah.
Right. Right. So another thing, if obviously if you've got Chrome, you've seen the little Gemini guy up here.
Yeah.
Also, if you I don't know because I don't have it on some profiles, but I do on others. So I don't know how that works necessarily. But I do know that if you have a paid version of Google Pro, you can now right click on your tabs and you can do a nice little split view now. And it is like super, super like they figured it out. Like the ratio, I thought it was going to be real stupid, like split
Yeah.
screen view.
Mm.
Somehow it just works. It's
Hang on.
really
Wait.
nice.
What'd you do? You did right click and then
So right click on the tab that you want to split the view with,
yeah.
and you should see at the top split view. And then afterwards, you'll actually see how you can arrange it. And then in between, you can obviously split the ratio of what you want to see one side to
See,
another.
my weekend's already wrecked because it's not in my tab, but I need to go figure out how I add it to my tab. It's so okay. But I love
Okay,
that. I
so
didn't know that. Yeah.
so I'm gonna leave both of these up at the same time for good reason.
Yeah.
We're gonna go to this AI news notebook and just go ahead and ignore that. You know how all that works anyway. Then I want to on this side, I'm gonna say, what was it that you wanted to build? You wanted to build an app to do what?
So let's just call it like the uh superhuman framework for leaders app.
Okay. Hey Gemini. So my buddy George is looking to see, what it's all about with you and auto coding and, how fancy you are with it and what you can actually do. And so he wants to build out an application that's going to be superhuman leaders, right, for HubSpot admins. And I don't really know what he's got in mind. I'm sure that you don't necessarily know, and he hasn't said anything yet, but you think you can throw something together that would just blow his mind in terms of, wow, I would never think that Gemini could build this out for me.
Now, what I love about that was it was totally like conversational. And you threw so many pieces together in there, which I'm like, well, actually, I never thought about leaning it towards super admins, but let's see what happens because we can. And they are leaders in their organization and or should be leaders in their
Mhm.
organization. So, um, okay, I'm interested.
So, something new that I saw in Notebook that I'm not sure if you guys have seen it. If you have, then I guess I'm a little behind the times. Guys, I've been busy for like 2.5 weeks building just a monstrous toolkit. So it's been a minute since I've actually had hands-on stuff, but now that I have, it's pretty nuts. So I was going through Notebook and I was like, man, it's really cool, but it just sucks that I have to like go from Gemini to doing the deep research, and then I got to put that as a doc, and then I got to drag it over to the Notebook.
Yeah.
Yeah, not anymore.
Yeah. I
Now
saw
I
it
can
like two
do
days ago and I started like drooling. I'm like,
can
oh,
do fast, web, and deep. And
great.
then naturally, as soon as it pulls it up, you just straight up add it to your notebook. And now it just becomes yet another source. So, and you can only launch one at a time. So that is a bit of a, pain in the ass limitation, but, well worth it. All good things to those who wait, right? So let's see, separate these out again. And oh wow, look at that. It's already done.
Oh. Oh, do you see happy, helpful, humble? Oh my gosh.
And look at this. It's a
Oh,
chat bot to ask
The
George.
chat.
oh my gosh.
So we've got let's see, let's take a look at this thing.
What does the panic button do?
I know, right? Like, what is happening right now? All right, so Superhuman HQ, Sidekick Strategy Command Center, Level 2 Admin. We got XP points. It's gamifying it immediately.
Mm-hmm. You may not be able to see it on your end, but there is like a very light sort of orange crisscross pattern on the background. It's really
Yeah,
cool.
I can barely see it back there, but yes. Portal Healthy, the human check-in. What? Yeah, the panic button. What? Stop, breathe, reboot. Listen to
Oh
me.
my
You're not
gosh.
your HubSpot portal. You are a human being worthy of love and rest. The database will be there tomorrow. Go take a walk, hug your family, or just
Oh my Lord.
Now, do you guys believe me? Now, do you guys believe me?
be the blessing, not the burnout. I'm ready to flourish. Hit the ready, I'm ready to flourish button.
Somebody go ahead and try to tell me that the post that I made is BS now.
Well, first of all, too, can I just go back to, like, for me, it's the subtle things. The fact that that was like a slow, I'll call it a bounce.
Yep.
But
Just
like,
nice and calming.
well,
right?
right. So like, if you think about it's breathing. It's literally like,
Yeah.
like that's what it's doing here in a moment where you're saying, take a breath. Like,
Yep.
all right, let's keep looking at this.
And
See,
by the
but
way,
now
this would be the
here, like,
exact response from one George B. Thomas if you said, George, I'm panicking.
wait, what?
This
Oh,
is he's saying this is exactly what you would probably say.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Without a doubt. I'd be like, bro, relax. It'll be
How
okay.
and so this is my Gemini.
Yeah.
How
Yeah.
well could my Gemini possibly know you?
I mean,
All I
obviously,
did
it knows
was
me well.
one search, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So when we're
Is
ready to
the
flourish,
whole internet the rag?
I mean, at this point,
Like,
right? That's kind of what they've figured out is like, hey, how about we just do that for them?
yeah.
And then they don't have to worry about it.
So the human check-in, mind, focus, and clarity, body energy levels, spirit patch. So you can literally like move that around. Missing log, audit, unengaged contacts, deal. So it's bringing in some HubSpot stuff, some actual like leadership stuff, some human stuff. Virtual
It's almost
chore.
like your task log from HubSpot, but brought in such a way that it follows your framework in terms of like,
Superhuman HQ.
Dude,
Oh.
if I literally backed this up and we had not said anything about HubSpot and we just said like
Look at that.
framework,
Look at that card, George.
the daily 1% better each and every day. Can we go back up though? The fact that there's already like a virtual George, like, hey, buddy, I'm your virtual. I have that guy, by the way. But now it could literally be like in the app because I could use API to like call it in. I couldn't. I have no idea how to do a freaking
You're
API.
about to.
That's why we're here today.
We should do it today. Yeah, right.
Anyway, so then we get the 1% better card. Anything after that? Like what else do we got going on here? Just Superhuman Academy. Ooh, what's this?
Oh, it tried. It tried really hard.
It tried so hard for that. Again, we're throwing like almost 3 different concepts at it, by the way,
Yeah.
in the way that we prompted it. But
And definitely no shade that you got confused by what the help loop marketing means,
No.
Gemini.
all humans are
Right.
confused about it, Gemini. We forgive you. All right, I'll shut up again.
Look at this.
Learn mode.
Built by Sidekick
Oh,
Strategies,
come on.
powered by passion,
Yes.
purpose, and persistence.
Yeah. It should be built with love. You know, built with love.
Yeah.
powered
Almost got there.
So close. But here's
Do better. Do better,
go in.
Gemini.
I could go in and this is where like because this is almost one shot though, but where my brain is, I could be like, please change this, please change this, please
Yes.
change this. And all of a sudden with like a second prompt, like all of this little nitpicky shit that we're mentioning goes away.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
And I love how it like already, you know what I mean, like figures out, obviously, you know, builds that mobile experience for you too in such a natural way that like, yeah, this is what I would want, right?
Yeah.
So let's see.
Oh
Hey
man.
man, this is pretty baller, but you know what? I, see, that's where I like my voice command better than most everybody else's. But I don't, you know, want people to be able to see. Hey man, this is actually really baller, but you know what? What I'm noticing is that especially on mobile, when I'm going up and down on the screen, I'm losing the ability to go back to different places. So it would be so awesome if you could build me like a floating menu that just stays with me like right on the middle section so that I can just navigate up and down no matter what, right? Like it's just a little up and down switch, something like that. And yeah, I mean, everything is looking good, but you know, we need a profile section. And then I like the learning more thing. Can you actually expand that out and give us like another page that has more filled in there with like some lessons, you know, lessons from George or what have you, and like pull some content from his site and just build something out there, make it really robust. And then on top of that, I love the panic button thing. That's so awesome. Can we build something else like that somewhere else in the UI? I don't even care where else, but I like that effect. Let's play on that. And I don't know. Last but not least, surprise me. You know what I mean? Do some magic, work some AI in there. Whatever you feel. Yeah, dealer's choice. Have at it.
So, Chris, you have my address, right? My home address.
Yes.
Yeah. If I pass out at any point in time during this this live, can you please call 911 because my family is not here right now, and I'm listening to Nico talk, and I'm having like oh god moments here where like I need to hit the panic button. I need to breathe for a minute. I'm just I can't wait to see what this does. Like oh
So what I find awesome is that it actually like tells you what it's going to be doing like
yeah.
prior to. So like it's working on it right now. It's crushing it out.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
line
that's
by
one of
line.
the things with anti-gravity.
Which
Like,
like, we're not in anti-gravity right now. Like
no,
you're literally just doing this in like
Just
Gemini on
Gemini.
Google and
right.
like previewing it. And so we really haven't taken it anywhere. We're just
Nope.
playing air quotes playing right now to get to something that we like. And then
Yep.
we'll see next steps later. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. And like there's options like uh agent led where you can just turn on turbo. It never has to ask you for permission. There's the needs a check every time. Then there's in between. There's lots of in betweens now where you just say the agent will decide,
Mhm.
right? And if it's a quick task that's been obvious in the chat, it will not tell you what it's about to do. But if it's a change to the plan or it's adding complexity, it will tell you what it's about to do.
Mm,
And
mm.
the way that it's choosing, it always feels right when it makes that choice,
Oh, I can't wait to hit that
right?
button. Hype me
The
up.
hype me up button,
Mm.
the Oracle of Orange.
Oh snap. I added a mystical oracle widget. Click the glowing orb. Oh
George,
god.
let's check this
Oh.
out.
Okay.
Let's see, is it the same URL? Cool.
This is why I don't create show plans, by the way. I went with
Yep, there's
uh
the button.
Google. I went to Gemini. I was like, "Hey, man, we're gonna do a show today,
Yeah.
unboxing the features.
Oh,
Which features
George's
should we
daily
unbox?
tip. Oh, the Oracle of Orange. Let's start there. Actually, let's start there. So, like, if you click that,
Consulting
consulting
the
hub,
HubSpot
love,
series.
purpose, passion, persistence. Which one needs attention? Ooh. So if you just hit it, it basically and
Pulls
so
up another.
and so is it giving us the little AI focus on being So it's just
It's certainly
it's like an AI piece, basically.
right.
Yeah.
It's an AI
I
feature.
think it described it as like it will give you Georgisms.
Yeah,
Yep.
Georgisms. Consulting the hubs. You're a sidekick. Your customer is the hero. Yeah, okay. So let's go back up top. Oh my God, this is insane. Okay, so we still got that. We got
Is my
Academy, the Superhuman
Got
Framework.
the logo right.
Oh, I got it right. Nice. Ooh, interesting that it did HubSpot hygiene, considering something that happened like a couple weeks ago.
It brought the
No.
42
podcast
No.
in.
Hit
Uh,
play.
wait, is that
Is
Hub
that
Heroes?
real?
I mean, it doesn't actually go to it, but I'm
Oh.
very I could ask it
I
to
want to
link
know.
the content.
Hang on. Now I'm curious because I don't remember. That was like 2 years ago.
Oh, this is fucking awesome. I
Heroes
didn't even think about this.
Hub Heroes episode.
Bro, now that you put that Hub Heroes podcast thing in there, that just like really got my mind blown open. So I've got tons of YouTube videos out there. I was wondering if you could go to George's YouTube page where it's the Hub Heroes podcast on YouTube and pull some of those episodes in, like go grab all the latest episodes and build out like a video player where people can watch the latest episodes and then have like a whole, I don't know, like library, basically like video library where people can go to it and then they just click on it and, you know, have it embedded so that it just plays like straight in the page so they don't have to actually go to YouTube and stuff. That would be so amazing. Man, I would love that. And then George has these pillars too. Can you work that in some way, like in an interactive way? Like maybe it's a game that people play, so it's like the pillars game, right? That people play with that. So like, yeah, superhuman pillars game. Let's go with that.
I got to remember to not talk when you're talking because I jack it up every time I do. But when you started to go in that
It'll
direction, I
figure it
about
out.
lost my mind. Here's the thing: what I love is I would once it hooked up, it would have the right episodes, and I would love that, like that whole play it right there.
This is your
Oh, that's the look at the
profile.
hype me up button at the top right.
It just shoots some confetti.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
Where's my little horn? I need to like
Right? Oh man, I should have told it. Can you build
Yeah.
the horn?
What's the air horn? Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. We need some air horns that does that. Oh my gosh,
Learning center. Let's see where it goes along.
this is crazy. So what's interesting is, okay, I'm gonna shut up.
I wish I could tell it like, well, I will tell it to like actually build out the content too. So here's what's nuts is that like whenever you want to, like this is how we like a lot of like most of us go about like building stuff out is Gemini is your React front end, right? So like it can build out the front end to this application all day long. And like how detailed can it get? Before Gemini 3, I made a front end application that was almost like it almost fully functioned. I didn't have to do much on the back end. And it was just over 3,000 lines of code in Gemini. So you can get really, really, really far with whatever you are trying to do for an app for front end before you actually have to pass it off. And so what I really look at this as is like essentially you are starting out working with a junior front end developer and you're working with them like somewhere between junior and whatever normal level. I'm not sure how they go with that. Developer, and you're building out your front end, right? And you're working on, hey, here's how I want it to look. Here's what I want it to do. Now, this already, and of course, when you're working with Google stuff, that's the way it's going to be. If you're working with Anthropic, if you're working with OpenAI, they're going to prefer their models. They're going to, put their API keys and their connections and stuff in. Again, it's worth it to me to just like do a paid membership to this stuff, just even for a month, so that you can see like okay, this is what I could possibly do if I had a membership to this stuff, right?
Hub Heroes latest HubSpot loop marketing tip. Oh my god. But I mean, so what? Like for right now.
Yeah.
But the fact that it
That's
brought
like a
it,
couple prompts away from fixing that and having
yeah.
it.
You know who could fix it, right? Chris.
I mean, that's like
Yeah, let me call up my dev and see if I can get some time in the next couple weeks.
that.
We can have that discovery session,
Ooh,
document everything out, and then maybe in 3 months we can have some YouTube videos playing, right?
Yeah,
That's
right.
how it works.
wait, we've got a cornerstone challenge game here. So here's a
It turned the cornerstone into Simon
Simon's.
Says.
It looks
Yeah.
like Simon Says. Yeah, exactly. Um, so here's my question, because I'm the learner on this episode. Nico, if I get, oh my god, if I gave you, sorry, I did something over on my computer that I just looked at and I about pooped myself. Um, uh, so if I gave you, because remember how I told you I had a whole conversation, had everything ready to launch. I just had not given it the prompt to actually be able to preview it, like you just showed me, like previewing.
Mhm.
Anyway, if I give you, or if I was somebody doing this and I had like my color palette, I could literally give it my color palette, and then it would take that into account when it's like building these things that we're building. It's pulling orange because basically HubSpot in orange right now. Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Let's see. Start the challenge. I must have hit it. Okay.
Oh my god, guys.
But that's the thing, is like, to play a game is just React. You don't need much. You don't need like a whole back end in order to do it.
Yeah.
So you can build out a lot before you actually end up having to, oh shit. Before you end up having to switch and go to build out any sort of like database or anything like that.
So let me
Since
ask you
we
a
have
question.
HQ, we have watch, play, and learn and
Yeah.
profile. So it's automatically building out these sections for us as it goes along. I didn't have to tell it, hey, expand the menu.
Yeah. So let me ask you a question. Like, if I go to my share, like you did share, and then all of a sudden you had a link that it could go to. I only see copy contents on the thing that I'm looking at right now. Like, why wouldn't I see like a actual, like
Are you looking at the code or are you looking at the preview?
a preview?
Huh. That's interesting to me.
Yeah.
So I've got code, I've got preview, and then I hit share and it literally says copy contents versus like me being able to get to an actual link and preview it. I wonder if it's just a setting.
Oh, it might be that it's possible. It might be that it didn't build a React application, that it might have just built like
Code.
something, yeah, like something I don't know, that it could run
That's
locally,
what
like
I
Python
usually
or
run
something.
into.
Yeah. Um,
So
that's
you said
possible.
React what?
So like React is a type of coding language that allows you to write pretty much any sort of front end styling and effects and animations. Like this entire thing, it
Yeah.
uses React, right? So as opposed to Python, which you would use to make like actual like uh, hardware based application. You could use it for web apps too, but it's like it's hardcore if you're using it for web apps. Or just your preference. I don't care.
Yeah. Okay. Gotcha.
I'm not that much of a developer, so you're asking somebody who doesn't, the words are coming out, but I can't. It's kind
Yeah.
of like GPT. I could be hallucinating right now, right?
Yeah. There you go. Well, I'm hallucinating because I literally just got stupid and said, "Hey, please build this as a React app so I can share a link, and we'll see what it does." It's building right now, by the way, so we'll see.
Yeah. Yeah, and it takes like how much time, right, for it to like make the updates and make the changes and whatnot, right?
Yeah.
Um, by the way, I'm working on finally, and it's actually like very close to being done. Um, for a while, I've been working on like a really cheap app for people to use to figure out how to just like divide everything, divide up bills, divide up whatever. And one of the number one complaints among uh, on online is people who share living spaces, but they don't know how to split up the rent. And so this actually allows you to do it by like equal, if you want to actually tier each room, if you want to do it by square footage, or you
Oh,
want to do
wow.
it your own way of doing it. And then common area multiplier and guest cost calculator. So like,
Mhm.
because it's, maybe it's one of you has a girlfriend that is not necessarily live in, but kinda. So like maybe they should pay more. Anyway, so there's
Yeah,
that.
she eats the food, she drinks the beer. What cost
Right.
is that? Yeah. So I guess it's interesting because you went to GitHub. So like talk me through we build this thing that we've been building, right?
Yes.
And we've got it where we can preview it. Like how does a human take it from like, okay, now it's this, and I want to take it live so somebody can actually like interact with it online.
Right. So we're gonna do. I wish I could say that it's two steps. It is in my head. It's not in reality. So you have to sign up for a GitHub account. Um, GitHub is, Chris will explain to you. It is definitely not the easiest platform to learn. It is fairly confusing sometimes. Um, but the I don't look, devs. I'm sorry. You got the sorry ahead of time. I'm sorry. I'm about to do something to your platform you probably really, really hate. I don't know. Maybe some of you use it this way. That'll make me feel better. But probably most of you gonna hate what I'm gonna say next. Um, it's my code-based Google Drive.
Oh,
So I probably don't use it the way you are supposed to be using it. Uh, I also don't care. I just need to access my code and be able to, up and download it, uh, or push and pull, as it were, uh, wherever I'm at. So that's pretty much what I think of GitHub as is like, oh, okay, it's the code version of Google Drive, which it very much makes sense. Uh, I just think that, yeah, it very much makes sense. After a while of using it, uh, you start to understand like, okay, I get why this is the purpose. And not only that, but I would say 2 to 3 months from now, you're gonna be coming back with like, guys, look at this look at this thing that I figured out in GitHub, took this repo and was able to clone it and do this thing.
yeah.
I'm looking
Okay.
forward to it.
So
So
George, you
Yeah.
make a repo
Yes.
and then you let the other tools connect to GitHub
And then
so
you
so that
just
you never have to mess with GitHub.
yep, yeah, basically. Yeah. So we're gonna call this Superhuman HQ. And now there's a lot of stuff on, just ignore it. Just ignore it. There's a lot of stuff. Don't worry about it. That's
okay.
what I'm saying. That's what I mean, developers. I know there's a lot of stuff.
Thanks,
I
sorry.
know README files and licensing and Apache. I get it. We're not trying to do that today. We just want to get
Said,
the shit up there and
said
fuck with it.
sorry.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've been seeing anti-gravity do all that stuff. It's awesome. It's gonna keep doing that stuff, and I appreciate it. But I don't know what it's doing.
So we have your repo, right?
Yeah.
So now we're gonna take your code
Yep.
and we're gonna come to the repo and we're gonna create a new file.
Yeah.
And in this file, we're gonna paste your code. And we're gonna name this app. I'm not even going to. I get it. I get it. Chill out. Chill out. Just gonna label it app rough design. I guess I'm gonna call it a what do they call it? TSX. Okay.
Yeah, I've never done any of this stuff before. This is if you're not using the auto coding agents.
I
Okay.
mean, we're going to in a second. This is
Yeah.
just a super fast way of going from Gemini to GitHub,
Yeah.
as opposed to like downloading shit and then uploading. Like, just do this.
Yeah.
So gonna label it as initial commit. That's I don't care. So we have our app rough design. That's in our code base. That is pretty much the last time we'll have to touch GitHub.
Oh,
I'm pretty sure.
okay.
So now you could pick whatever you want to. Today, do we want to go with anti-gravity or do we want to do
Let's go anti-gravity if we can.
okay?
Just-
So let's go with
We're gonna talk
anti-gravity.
about Google today. Literally, the thing was like, we're going to talk all about Google Gemini and Google
I
today.
know.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
just been super fun, right? Okay, so we've got Google anti-gravity. And what we're going to do here is we're going to clone this repository that we just made.
Okay.
So we're going to go to GitHub. We're going to pull Superhuman HQ. And we're going to put it in our programming folder. We're going to open that window. And so we've got our app rough design.tsx there. Now, by default, I'm not even going to bother messing with anything else. You've already got Gemini 3 Pro high.
Yep.
So this isn't just Gemini 3 Pro, right? It's Gemini 3 Pro high. Like we're already jacked up. And oh, by the way, Claude Sonnet for free as well, because who's partnered with Google? Anthropic. So what does Google get to say? Gimme.
Yeah. Yeah.
And of course, GPT open source, right? Okay, so
Yeah.
Google 3 Pro high. And once again, so we have the planning mode and then we've got fast mode. We're gonna go with planning mode first. And because there's no dictation here, I have to use my own. So oh wells. But anyhow. Hey bud, can you do me a favor? Take a look at the app file that I've got in the repo here and familiarize yourself with it, and then come back. And what I'm looking for is I want to actually build this out into a full React application that we can develop locally here so that I can like mess around with it, check out the features, and I don't know, the two of us can go nuts building stuff into it. I know it's not as cool as the other one, but it works.
Interesting.
So what is anti-gravity by comparison to like all the other stuff? It is basically, if you've used Replit, it's free. It's a free version of Replit. That's the easiest way I can explain this. It is a free version of Replit. And I don't care. I'm sorry, Amjad. The day was coming. And this is what you get for not making your prices the actual prices that the model costs actually are. Like, that's not my problem, right? So now you're going to get freed to death. Essentially.
Yeah. And I've also heard this looks exactly like Cursor. It's a very similar experience to that.
Except it has
And-
the best coding model in it for free.
Yeah. And where this is coming from is people from the windsurf team went over to DeepMind, and now we have anti-gravity, right? So it's super interesting. Well, I'm not talking about that today, but the humans that are involved in the industry and where they go, and then when you can see immediate impact like this, it's something to pay attention to. If you
Newsflash. I am officially downloading anti-gravity right now as we speak. Just letting everybody know. This is the journey today. Learn and do as we're going through this.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Now you can see, and again, you might know something about this stuff, might not know anything about this stuff. I didn't know jack shit. Like 9 months ago, I knew nothing. The only thing I knew how to do, I started doing this stuff literally at Inbound last year. I was sitting in a talk where Matt Wolf was giving a speech, and he mentioned Replit, and I immediately jumped on, and it's like, yeah, launch your site or launch your code immediately. I was like, what? This is nuts. And then I went to GPT and I was like, wow, so you can code pages for me and then bring them over to Replit. And then I launched this thing. And all of a sudden, like, wow, I just had this mortgage calculator put together in like 5 minutes. And now I can do that in one prompt and like a minute, right? But still, the point really is that like I didn't understand any of this, what it meant, what the purpose of it was, or any of the language. I could and will tell you, you don't really have to either, because it's basically doing it almost out of like courtesy more than anything else that
Yeah.
I would say. I'm not really sure. That's funny. It calls it monolithic. It's not even 1,000 lines, dude. Like, take it easy.
I would imagine it proves the consistency on some level. It's also helped me move from my desktop anti-gravity to my laptop anti-gravity, and back and forth.
Oh yeah,
Because you can easily add this stuff to the repo if you need to share it. Even like as we start collaborating on a bunch of value first stuff, like we're gonna get real good at communicating asynchronously through the agents.
oh yeah.
Right.
And I have configured nothing yet. So this is very different from like my VS Studio setup, because that has like agents configured, chat modes configured, all sorts of like auto mode shit, like everything. I haven't done anything to this. So you're just
Right.
watching like raw anti-gravity, what it can do,
Yeah.
base bones out the box.
And I want to highlight, like, so it's done with the plan.
Mhm.
You could either respond in the chat to move forward, or there's a proceed button at the top of the plan artifact.
Or
Right.
if you know what it's got in mind, right? So like maybe George is looking at this plan and sees where was it up here? It's talking
This
about
is
like
something I haven't tried
yeah.
yet.
So maybe it says configure Tailwind. So like if you understand it, Tailwind is a type of CSS that's used, which is really awesome because it has huge libraries
Mm.
to match the brand orange and dark mode aesthetics. Maybe George doesn't want dark mode. Maybe he wants to change, right? And he wants to say like, um, hate typing, I really do. Hey man, rather having dark mode, start with a light mode and just have a dark mode option.
Oh, so like basically a switch that if somebody wanted to choose dark mode,
Right.
could.
Yeah. So like let's put the option in there as opposed to like having it just straight up dark mode, right?
Yeah, it's almost like when I downloaded anti-gravity, how it gave me like 5 different choices of what I wanted it to look like.
Yep.
Yeah.
So now
I wanted to pick Tokyo, whichever that one was, but the contrast wasn't good enough for me. So I ended
this
up
is
going with dark.
I forgot which one this is. It's all I really dig it though. Monokai dimmed. Yeah.
Oh, there's a lot more options.
Oh yeah. No, it's
Okay.
sick. It's really sick.
Oh, look,
I'm
there's
not even playing.
different Tokyos, Chris.
Yeah. To give it another shot.
Yeah.
And that's the other thing. It's like the library is beyond that. So like even in themes, you can go to color theme and then you can go to like a theme library to search for more. So like it doesn't even have, it's awesome. Same sort of stuff as VS, but still. Here's what I found really awesome about doing these types of updates. Before we just saw the orange or the dark that it was going to use, right?
Yeah.
Now we actually have the actual numbers and the level that it's going to use for that color. So we can actually go take this and go look it up on the web and say, okay, let's see what that slate is going to look like. Let's see what this, text white is going to look like. Let's see what this orange or this dark mode is going to look like prior to even running through with the plan. And if we needed to, we can make another review and say, now I want to change it to this or something or other, right? Assuming that we're good with everything. By the way, the task list is already made. It's per the implementation plan, right? So we like it's got everything. So even with this, we can check out the tasks and then go back to the implementation plan and say, no, I actually want to add this, 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 or this, right? So let's go ahead and proceed. And so now what's going to happen is you're going to watch that app rough design file get essentially like, I wouldn't say it's getting torn apart, but technically that's what's happening. All the pieces that are necessary to put it together, excuse me, um, are just going to get created. All the index file that it needs, the source files that it might need, whatever. Not modules. I think we'll still have to manually install the modules, but anything else that it will need in order to run CSS, like all of that stuff, everything is just going to get written out in the exact same way that that it would if it was any other autocoder that you've used before.
Yeah. Which equals none, but okay. Yeah.
But still, it's awesome. Mistake. You canceled the command with a do line. Wow. I think if I open the terminal, I can actually watch what it's doing, maybe. So now, yeah, now it's making all the directories that we need.
And so this is going back to the GitHub that we created, and it's creating the directories and the files and all the stuff now is what it's doing.
So it's not necessarily going to the GitHub yet, but it is connected to it. So
Okay.
once we actually make changes and everything,
So it's
then,
doing
yeah.
it locally, and then you do like a git of whatever it's called, a git whatever, and then it sends it to GitHub.
Yes.
Okay, gotcha. I did watch a couple videos last night on like Git and GitHub and the difference in like commands. Anyway,
No, it's awesome.
I'm trying to not be a complete noob when I got here today.
No, you're good.
Just saying.
So it's interesting to watch it because, oh wow, yeah, I thought so.
My goodness,
I thought
look
it
at
was-
all that.
So we've got all our source files, got the byte file that we need. So now this, I know that Chris loves this moment. When we have the byte config file.
Now, what is Vite config file? What is that?
So Vite is like, I wish I could really speak to this.
It's an app framework.
Yeah, basically.
All right.
It's the same. It's almost the same as React.
I know stuff like that now, just off the top. You know, I've been doing this for at least 4 weeks now, George. So
There
I
you go.
got you.
There
I
we
got
go.
you.
I told him last week, I'm like, now you're going to know exactly what I mean when I say I don't know shit about developing this stuff. I just know what I know how to do.
Well, how about we let you build that out a little bit on your side, and I'm
Okay.
gonna share my screen. Because there's the side of this that's like, what happens when stuff breaks, and you're gonna have to get humans involved at some point, and yeah, not really.
Debugging mean? Debugging?
Yeah, so I've got some good examples to share. So I'm gonna add to the stage. So this is an app that I've been working on, which is built as a page on the valuefirstteam.com website. And as I go through this, like, this is what I mean when I say, like, if you're just building PDFs and ebooks, and like this thing that we're looking at right now did not exist Monday morning of this week.
Wow.
Right. It existed in the form of diagrams and documents from Claude and like stuff that's going on in my head. Everybody knows I'm passionate about the HubSpot data model. So of course I'm going to want to build it into the website so that I can easily show people, because it's really hard to do that in the HubSpot portal. But as I do it, and I started making this because literally I was in the moment of, all right, when am I going to get into Canva to build the map that I need to build for the client project? I kept saying that day after day. I'm like, you know what? Maybe it's time to just try and build it. Right. This
Yeah.
is after 1 week after Nico activated me 2 Sundays ago. Right.
Mm. Wow.
And I started building websites.
Wow. Can
And
you just say
now,
that again? Like for anybody watching or listening to this, like I hope I just got their attention. Just say that again. How many weeks?
2 Sundays ago is when I spent time with Nico. We chose not to go live. And I connected these dots that we're talking about of, it was at that time, 2 weeks ago, it was Claude Code. It was Claude to Claude Code because we use Claude to like give us the best prompts. Like, hey, I'm doing this thing. I want to build it over here. Give me the prompt, right? Uh, and and then GitHub and Vercel, right? Vercel is where everything's hosted and it automatically publishes stuff that comes from GitHub. It's super awesome. So my first week, I built out the majority of this website, which has, an assessment tool in it, and some media stuff going on, which still needs to be built out. It's got some placeholders here, which I know people will appreciate. But it's got active shows I'm gonna find. And now, like watching this happen, um, speaking of stuff breaking, but watching what Nico just accidentally did, right? One of the moments here was trying to build some automation, some workflows to automatically ingest stuff from YouTube. And it was like, all right, I'm gonna build this and I need your YouTube API key. And now like the fact that Nico stumbled into that, like that immediately my mind's like, oh, maybe this is way easier. And this is where just the creativity and the ability to think critically, like AI will still try to go like the traditional routes
Yeah.
when doing certain things because that's the knowledge that it has, right? And even to the point of this is got a HubSpot form here, which I had never done this personally. The raw HTML, give it to the developer, they'll make it look nice on the website. That's what's happening here. The other thing I did over the week, and now the mission is to like start to bring these things together, is this educational simulator trying to show people some of the concepts that we talk about,
Yeah.
right? And this is an example of like building, like when you build the foundation and it's in this environment where you have help from agents and they're always aware of what's happening. Nico, on Monday, we were talking about what he was going to be talking about on Tuesday at the admin hug. He's like, yeah, I'm going to be working on that. Let's make it a thing. Let's try to get it out there. I'm like, okay. I give the PDF like to Claude and say, hey, I want to add this. I want to add this concept to the simulator,
Yeah.
right? And it creates this good looking page, right? Which, by the way, led me to, oh, I'm going to be showing this all the time on screen share most of the time. So let me design it from that perspective so that it needs to look good as if I'm sharing it on a video screen on a stream, right? It makes this nice looking page, right? And it builds it into these scenarios that were already in place. So when we look at customer profile comparison, we've got traditional ICP, traditional CRM, and what the ACP is highlighting, right? So one PDF, right? And then one prompt from Claude. And then this foundation that already exists, right? Let's just put it in there, like this iteration, right? That's possible. Okay. So that was like the first week. And then this week has been focused on this guy, right? And where I'm going with this is I've always had this dream really to combat the idea that leaders can't handle complexity and we got to keep it simple and all this stuff.
Yeah.
Well, it's complex system that we're building. And if you've ever seen like a building engineering diagrams, right? They always do it in a way where there's one master. It's like the whole building, it's all the electrical, it's all the plumbing, everything on the same sheet. Like the most complex things you've ever seen. Sometimes they've got like little measurements on them and everything, right? But then there's also like a plumbing only diagram and an electrical only diagram and right, but they're all made in a way that you can put them all together if you want, or you can look at them separately, right?
Mhm.
So I've started adding in these layers of I want to do some, journey mapping, and I want to have process diagrams in here. I want to be able to see properties and pipelines, and let's do some editing like inside of the table, right? Uh, I'm not going to go into all of the like next steps because it's probably could be obvious to some other consultants out there, like what could happen next here.
Yeah.
Because there's already a HubSpot API layer built into this website, by the way. But so between yesterday and last night, I was going down this path with um, anti-gravity, and I built the plan this morning. And when before the show, I started working on the plan, right? And I have it so instead of pushing to branches, it's going right to the main. And that, of course, risks stuff breaking. And like I've learned how to troubleshoot out of that. So I'm okay with that. And the first time it went, so this is the Vercel, right? And it was like, no, that didn't work, right? Then all I had to do is hit this copy button here, copy all lines to the clipboard. I do that, and then I bring it into anti-gravity. It's like, didn't work. Here's the error message, right? It's like, oh, let me get on that. And then it says, I have fixed it. Well, it
Wow.
didn't. Uh, then it says, let me try and fix it again. All right. So then I come back here and look at deployments, right? So these two didn't work. Third one worked, right? So this was the version, right? You can see one menu here. Everything's on one line,
Mhm.
right? And this was like the new version where it's starting to build some of that complexity in, which includes a whiteboard, right? Because this time I was like, all right, let's go full Canva or mural mode, dude. Like, and of course, these things, okay, they don't work right now. I don't know how to add them, but that's the next prompt, right? Um, but you can see how it shifted the UI a little bit, right, to support this added complexity. And so yeah, I just wanted to like highlight that, like, okay, error popped up. Here's the message. Get after it, buddy. Right. And then two goes and it was done. Um, and it's just like I've never felt so powerful
Yeah.
like in my life. And that's why I'm super psyched to activate you in this way, George. Um, because literally like all the diagrams, all of the thought leadership pieces, like everything you've been building, now we can turn it into like these applications. And really, if you're in GTM and in marketing, especially, like what
Yeah.
I'm going to end up with on this website is a true like interactive experience throughout the entire site. that is personalized to the person that's viewing the site,
Yeah.
right? And with the ability to create apps like this and manage data at the level that HubSpot's allowing us to, you can get there. And like, seriously, 1 week, right? I haven't tried this yet. I had it up like this analyze, right? Analyze data model. Let's see what happens here.
Oh,
Um, this was a moment like throughout the week. I was like, hey, I've never messed around with AI stuff before, but let's plug it into the AI model, right? This one doesn't work, of course. I think this one will. Like best practices for object design. It worked the other day at least. Maybe this update that I just um, added broke it, but we'll see. But there was like a Gemini API app key, right?
Mhm.
And this thing that just happened is it asking Gemini this question, like built into the website, right? So just so powerful. And how are you doing on your side, Nico?
Doing good. Anti-gravity is still going.
I do
I,
have like I did want to have I wanted to try something fun. Um, if we can.
what's that?
And that is I haven't do you know how to get to a new repo?
Yeah, if you do file new window.
File new window?
Yes.
Okay. And so would you say it's best to create the repo first?
Um,
Or can we have
depends on
anti-gravity
what
do it?
you're used to. It depends on how you're used to doing it. If you are used to creating the repo first and then cloning it, then do that. If you are comfortable with, deving locally and then pushing and creating afterwards, you can do that too. So it doesn't matter. You can do it at six of one, half of the other.
All right. Well, we're gonna try to start creating
I
then. And
generally so like I'll create first if I start with Claude, right? Because it has to be there for Claude to get started. But if otherwise, then I'm just doing it straight out of the IDE because you can. So it doesn't matter.
all right. In that case, I am going to build this app, this game. And what's the difference between Gemini 3 Pro high and low? Yeah.
I would equate it to low being like great for scaffolding, great for front end, and can set you up for back end stuff and can like set up some back end. The difference between these models and like the high and low stuff is if you knew exactly what you needed to build front to back and you knew like what could come in between and you were like expecting all of that, you could use a low model because they go fast, they are good, they're efficient, but the odds that it will take the entirety of the code base into account while working are much lower. Like it'll take the last 5 steps, maybe the last 6 steps into account. So it also depends on how you work. Uh, Personally, I work with the intention of not ever having to touch the code ever. So I tell the models do literally what's best for you because I'm never going to edit this shit. It's all you. You're going to have to touch it. So code it however works best for you. In doing so, I don't like the models, and I'm sure that they hate it. Having to, when you tell them go through the repository, familiarize yourself, XYZ, I can imagine how ridiculous it is to go dive 1,000 lines into each file or whatever it might be. So another thing that I'll do to help out is either through GitHub or through whatever. I mean, now that you have the free, now that you have a free means of doing it, um, I tell it to go through every file that's pertinent to the application running and that the agent would look through and tell it to create notation at the top of the file relative to what the file is, what its role is in the application, and where the most important parts of the file are within that file. So, like, what relates to the importance, let's say, so that it knows, like, oh, okay, I can jump down to line 400. I don't have to bother scanning my way down there. Um, that definitely helps you to be able to use like light models as opposed to high end models. But long and short of it is, high end model is going to take way more into account. It's going to be much more holistic when it's writing code than the lighter model. The lighter model is just going to like bang it out, get it done, which is not bad. Again, if you know what you need to do, if it's like a quick edit, you definitely don't want to use the high model because it's going to take forever. It will overthink the solution. It's totally possible. But if you are building out and you continue to build out other sections, I would definitely be using the high model for building and using the low model for like editing, tweaking, stuff like that.
Okay. And we also have this planning and task or planning and fast
Oh
mode
yeah,
too.
yeah. So pretty much the same thing there. Planning mode is, hey, I'm gonna take a long time to, to figure this out, to work it out, plan it out, and then to get it done. And even when I'm working, I'm going to like go back, look at stuff, make sure it's not crossing over, all that kind of thing. Fast mode is like, yep, gonna do it. Right. So it's like fast with Gemini, low is like quick surgical stuff, right? Like you can get, small changes done very, very quickly. Uh, how far would I go with that? I would, if you didn't know what you wanted to change exactly, don't do it because you're going to get pissed. It'll change it in a way that you didn't expect. It'll do it in a very simplified way. And the first thing you're going to say is, wow, really? You didn't even take this into account. And that's when because it's again, so if it's a large change, like, hey, you're changing the look of a page entirely, don't use like fast on low setting. It's not going to work out well. Do it. You could do fast with planning. So like I would go that far with changing a page. That makes sense because you're just changing the CSS and just moving some stuff around, theoretically. But if it's coming to like build out a new page, if you have no idea what you want, you can go fast. If you have an idea and you want it to match with the rest of it and you want it to, make sure everything's good, planning mode high. Like it just kind of depends on which, tools in a toolbox, right? Depends on what you're doing, what you're building. And I would honestly think about it that way is like, if I'm doing something simple, let me pare everything down. But if I'm doing something that seems complicated, I'll ratchet it back up. And when in doubt, ask the model, just say, what's the degree of difficulty here? Right. And if it's like, well, it's pretty high degree of difficulty or whatever, and obviously throw in the words, what's the degree of difficulty for you with this? Right. Um, and if it
Yeah.
says like moderate to high difficulty, all right, well, let's throw it into planning high mode so that we make sure that it gets done right. Yeah.
And I just want to highlight where we're at with this game. Uh, you can see at the top here, it's been creating all these things. So there's no repo yet. There's no file directory, like nothing, right? We just started, like, it's basically a chat and it's like, let's build this, right? It starts to create all these things, like, cool. Now it's going to verify the silo run game and open a browser and then start testing it out. Um, And the first time it did this, so this automatically opened on another screen. This is me moving
Your mouse.
arrows. Um,
Gosh.
I chose to not go the route that I keep hearing about on the Moodshots podcast and build like a 3D cyberpunk first person shooter,
That was pretty cool,
Yeah.
though.
right? But the way that it pulls the browser up, right, and just starts testing stuff on its own, it does that with the website that I showed before, too, right? It checks its work, and I think these are. I should have like lost on purpose. I wonder if I can. I think these are the marketing messages. See, You- or the sales.
Sales messages.
Okay, yeah, it's not doing everything.
That's funny.
Like this is representing sales, trying to get you, and these are marketing messages. It's going to work on the dialogue that's supposed to open up, right?
Mhm.
And it's debugging. So now it's debugging the game loading issue. And I think when we see a lot of these examples, especially from a B2B perspective, it's like, oh, okay, cool. The model can build another game, right?
Right.
Like, how is that like helpful? What I'm hoping to do is to then put this on a subdomain, game.valuefirstteam.com. And if, let's say, people like the game and it's like a little fun game to play, like that generates conversations, right, in ways that a downloadable PDF is never going to, right?
Mhm.
Even in the app that Nico built, right, the gamification that just, this is where you start to bring domain knowledge from other places and apply it to where you are. And now, even for the humans that aren't good at that part, you have an AI friend that's just naturally doing it for you because it knows what works. It's like, oh, if you want, literally, if you're wanting an app to do the thing that Nico was wanting to do, it's like, oh, of course, there's going to be an XP bar up here because that's what you asked for. You just didn't ask for it in that way. So how we do on your side? Can I share? Should I share your screen, Nico?
Yep. Yeah, you can.
So, by the way, Chris, before we end this thing, I'll probably want to share my screen.
Yeah.
Just saying, because as I've been listening and learning, I've been doing some other stuff too.
Applying.
Have you been fooling around there?
I've been nerding around. Yeah. Oh, look out the logos. Boop, boop, like the little.
Yep.
Yeah.
Little bouncy bounce.
Ooh, dark mode, light mode. Oh God. Yeah.
Nice.
Wow.
Still got all of our guides. Still got
Yeah.
that. And so now we're on. Now it's actually made it like separate pages as opposed to having it be slider. Got our game,
So funny.
learning section, and a profile.
And what's
Exactly.
crazy, once you have it on there, like you could literally be like, okay, now I want to work on the second course. Okay, now push that second course to this page, like that type of.
Can
Wow.
you go to search George's website, the Superhuman website, and based on the sections that we've put in for learning already, can you go ahead and fill those out with content? either like directly from his site, like fill it in that way, or use it as a basis to create new content that reads the same way as his content. Hold on.
It'd be interesting.
I'm not done yet. I want the entirety of the learning base, the knowledge base and the learning base. I want the entirety of it completed, not just like one or two. Yep, let's go with that. And so while anti-gravity has been building, of course, Claude Code has been building as well on the side. The first rendition of it is done. Adding some, as I like to call it, adding some some spinners and screens. I love to do this thing, which George, I think you're going to get an absolute kick out of. And honestly, no offense to anybody, because I used to watch the show I've seen almost every single episode simply because of the screens within the screens bit. It killed me every time. I just love to treat the software at some point like, pimp my software, right? And I tell either Claude or whomever I'm working with, like, you're going to play the role of exhibit, and I'm going to give you the software, and you're going to just tell me like the lineup, like what are you going to do that's just going to take it like over the top from like where it already is at, right? So in terms of the whole, I tell people like one of the pillars that I have is always take things one step further. And if you do that, like if you use that method, like just tell it like, hey man, really like take it over the top, go nuts with it. What do you think you can do? What do you think we could, fit in there? How do you think we could, make it better? Yeah, 100%. Your head's going to explode in terms of what it actually comes up with versus what you thought it might actually be able to do. So it's got it's filling in some coursework now. The George protocol. I love that. Boundaries are your best friend. The silent killer of innovation. The empty audit. Wow. It's got some cool stuff in here. The engagement gap. Oh, if we could just layer that with the engagement trap. Killing the whole thing. Oh yeah, I love it. All right, so let me see, because Claude's, he's fast on his feet. He's no slouch, so he might be done by now. No,
Craziness.
Almost.
Like, I just hope everybody understands the amount that we've actually done, messed around with, played around with. Like, and by the way, no goal, no direction other than to have a show today. But like, if you literally had a goal and a direction you're trying to go, the amount of time that this hour and a half could have gotten us towards a finished product, a launch of XYZ, whatever, or 1% better, closer to the thing that you believe you need to deliver to the world, is nuts.
So we've just added some learning content. We're going to go ahead and restart the front end here. Oh, by the way, as complicated as it seems, like when it comes to the terminal and doing all this, George, in every single case, you're going to get what's known as a README file, and you're going to want to read it because it legitimately tells you towards the bottom here. Oh, I guess towards the top. It's usually
I never
more
read it.
it's usually more straightforward than this. I will say that. But you can actually ask it to you can straight up ask it like, hey, how do I launch this? And it'll just spit out the directions on how you do it. And you could say like, can you add those directions to what I'm doing? The only reason it doesn't do that right now is because of this byte config file, right? So as opposed to what I'm doing, which is manually taking a look at it, you can see that there's this Vite logo up here. You can use, which one is it? Vercel. You can use an application known as Vercel.
Yeah. So talk to me.
And
What is Vercel? Because I've heard Chris say it. Like what
it's
what is
basically it's a
It's a
so
host.
VPS. It's like a virtual private server.
okay.
And you use it in order to host applications. And
And
the way it
websites.
could be apps, could be websites, like
Yeah.
honestly, whatever you want it to do. And so it runs directly off of your Git repository, which is why we say get the Git repository thing. As you can see, Claude's superhuman version is coming up soon. Right now, we're going to do the anti-gravity version. And so let me see. When it comes to working down here, so to speak, and then seeing what it looks like, that's why you do this like local run so that you can dev locally, see what it looks like prior to actually pushing it live. So essentially what you need is, at the end of the day, Gemini, anti-gravity, GitHub, Vercel.
And you're live on the internet.
3 out of the 4 are free. And Vercel is free too. The free level of Vercel, you can actually use it and launch a couple things, but the paid version is like, okay. Like, yeah, no big deal.
And
Yeah.
and is Vercel what puts you like you're online?
Yeah. So my
Yes.
Value First Team website, the stuff that
Yeah.
I was showing, it's on Vercel.
Got you.
Like it's a web host, right? And it's $20 a month for unlimited websites where there's a usage-based model. So it's kind of, it leans towards apps for sure. And I thought that's the thing. Like week 1, when I was doing this, it's like, oh, I'm never going to hit that. I'm never going to hit that limit because it's $20 to host. But then if the usage and traffic gets high enough, that's when you start paying more.
Yeah.
Right. And that's when I'm like, oh, it's just going to be websites. I'm not going to have a ton of traffic either. But now, as I start to build these interactive elements, right, that's using like, AI on the way, and people are downloading, uploading, like that's the usage that will take me over. But again, like if it does, like if I'm having to pay for that, probably some good stuff is happening.
There
right?
should be some revenue being driven if
Yeah. Right. Like, and that's the thing. Like if I do game.valuefirstteam.com and I build a game and a bunch of people show up and play it, right? But then it generates a bunch of pipeline. It's probably way cheaper than any of the usual stuff. And back to what George said, like imagine the 40 hours that you just spent last week.
Yeah.
And like take 1 hour of that and start applying it in these directions. Like, man.
Yeah.
We're an hour and 40 in. Like, and 3 of us are building separately.
So
I look forward to showing George's stuff.
Yeah.
Oh man, like
We didn't have any of this set up like
Yeah.
prior to when we came in.
Can I
Nope.
can I share, by the way?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Please.
So share screen.
You have to rename this how the student becomes the master in 90 minutes.
Well, no. Let's see. That's not, I'm looking for this one because this is not even close to done yet. But I just want you guys to see, like, just in this conversation and like unlocking and being able to do some things
In this short an amount of time, guys.
Yeah.
In this short an amount of time.
So basically what you're looking at is you're looking at Superhuman Framework website, which I have the framework, right? I'll talk about that in a minute. Who it's for: leadership, HR, people ops, sales, marketing, service, pastors, and personal. By the way, I can click into leadership and then it like literally starts to like build that page out. Services: speaking, workshops, coaching, mastermind. The founder, by the way, this is not me, but I could replace this when we get there, right? But if I go on the founder, it literally started to build out like the founder page. Again, none of these pages are done, but check this out, like new operating system available. Stop drifting, start designing, become superhuman. The comprehensive operating system for high performance leadership, business, and life. Don't just work harder, upgrade your internal software. Take the assessment, explore the framework. I've got a little slider here that is like like actual like testimonials. You're running a 21st century life on a 20th century OS, and it just did a scratch out. And so you can like, where do you need to be superhuman for leaders, for sales? It literally gives me these cards. Universal foundation for personal growth. Start designing your life. But so here's what's crazy. I'm gonna come back to this in a second. But I did what you said as you're talking. I said, okay, this is amazing. Now please act like exhibit from Pit My Ride and add some amazing user experience items, some Easter eggs, then give me a preview, right? Now, I in this preview, it's like I can't do the actual things it's asking me to do, but I started laughing my butt off because it's like the Konami code, nitrous system, like go into God mode by doing these keyboard bindings, confetti cannons, the reading gauge, a hydraulic button, or here you go, secret hood ornament. Click the main superhuman logo 5 times fast and watch it do a barrel roll. Like I'm like, oh my God. So, but here's where I started to lose my mind. Take the assessment. Okay. What is your superhuman archetype? You're fighting a battle every day, but which one? Find out which superpowers you need to win in less than 2 minutes. Start assessment. Okay. First things first. Who should we call you? Okay, I'm George. Next step. When you wake up on Monday morning, what is the primary battlefield you're stepping into? Let's see, culture, managing people. Okay, analyzing your like again, it's not finished, but you get the idea of where it would be heading for an actual, and then also you can like download the HR playbook or whichever playbook that you actually wanted to. It in like anyway.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway.
And now once you get Vercel rolling, it'll be
Yeah.
available for others in seconds.
And I could, and then I could literally build out each individual page. Like, okay, now we're going to spend time and we're going to build this page, push it. Now we're going to build this page, push it. Like, it's nuts.
That's exactly what it is. That's exactly what it is. And I love the fact that I love the fact that you're doing it now. And I can't wait to see like outside. I mean, for most people, it's like even Wix, man. Like, I don't even know what Wix is gonna do. Like, who cares?
Okay.
Well, I have watched a couple of things where Wix is starting to, Squarespace is starting to, and there's even like a WordPress vibe. Like they're starting to add vibe coding to these platforms. But I will say that again, trying to be prepared for this today, and then the thing that I'm doing with Chris later next week, spending some time kind of being able to drill in even deeper one-on-one to what we're talking about today. I tried the WordPress like vibe thing, and I was like, cool, not what I'm looking for.
Oh, and that reminds me of something I wanted to highlight. Because I've made progress on my side too, right? Nice. Let's press space to start. And this was, so the reason I was kind of disappointed in the first pass is that when Gemini gave me this idea, like for the show, the first time it gave it to me, it had more details in it. And then at the end, the prompt had less details. And I didn't pay attention to which one I was giving anti-gravity. So the one at the end, like, is what we ended up with, right? Yeah. And so then I went back. Like, all of this is when you can understand the layering. Like, once you build the foundation, you can just layer and work with it, and you're not the one having to do that. Because that's where, especially in SaaS, like that back and forth with devs, with designers, with everybody, like humans have been able to do that kind of thing. But when you just know, when you see that file that's like version 12, like 100 hours like went in, and you're just like, oh my God, can we never get to version 12 again, please? Right? Instead, we're like, I've done like over 100 like pull requests on GitHub, and you're just continually iterating because AI can do this for you. I went back and I got the original prompt, said, hey, can we make it look like this was the original idea? Can we add some of this stuff in? I also want to make it more visually compelling. Got some work to do there, but either way, this is like 10 minutes later, 15 minutes later than when I was showing it before. So let's press space to start. Oh, that's space to take me off stage, apparently. All right. And we'll activate this, press space to start. And I'm the customer and I'm trying to get to the actual value support. Oh, sales got me, just bubbling this up. Oh, got me again. Oh, let me try to. And the game froze. Okay. It's, I think that my guy Anti-Gravity is watching this almost. But let's load it again. And it's actually in my other browser here. Because what happens when sales stops me? And what's supposed to happen with the like these are newsletters, right? Game over, you ran out of patience, right? So what George was referring to about these older tools, like let's say somebody on the team has an idea for this app and they know that it would be a brilliant lead generator, right? And I only say that word to connect you with what you're doing every day, right? I wish you would call it something else, but you're not going to for a while. So you know it would be a great lead generator. You know it would get traction and it would be a great thing to share on social. And if you could just put it on your website, that would be the activation needed. Now we can plug it into HubSpot. Now we can get forms. But guess what? That's not going to be easy because we've got this old traditional web infrastructure like to put it on, and we can't just go from Anti-Gravity to GitHub to Vercel in seconds. We've got to give it to our dev team. We've got to, like if we have the WordPress thing, like maybe we can get it in there now with agents, but that's the kind of stuff like the innovation that gets stifled because we're not using this newer AI native infrastructure. Once you can let go, like nobody's building stuff that like, oh man, you've got to figure out a way to enable your teams, like to innovate in this way. What do you got on your side?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've got Claude's version. So this is what we had from Gemini, right? Valiant effort, no doubt. Not like anybody's shaking anything at it. And then so I had Claude Code working in the background, and it decided to do that. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, this is like I'm not even sure. I mean, I know that it works, but I don't know what it. Oh wow! Don't tell me that HQ.
What?
I'm sorry. What?
Can you just
What?
say videos?
Leaderboard.
Oh my God.
Videos.
Oh,
Oh wait. Hey George. Here's the difference between Gemini and this is the big one, right? So first of all, look at the menu.
Yeah.
I didn't ask for the extra stuff. It's just in there. Secondly, we go to watch, right? I'm not saying that Gemini can't do this. It's a matter of what Claude looks at it. Claude is more creative. Gemini is not quite as creative. What's the difference there is like even with coding, which again, use Claude at your own risk when it comes to IDE because it can get creative. Um, if you're going from like raw idea to application, Claude code
Yeah.
or Claude all day long, right? Because it is as creative as you are. The whole pimp my ride thing with Claude, oh my God, like that's how we got to what you're going to see.
Yeah.
With Gemini, it's just like it's a really good developer. You just got to give it some help. But so Gemini was able to, get your stuff in here. Oh, that's weird. It plays in there now. Before it wasn't
Yeah.
doing it.
It wasn't doing it before.
Oh, well, Claude had knocked it out of the park. It just did it like
Wow.
right out the gate. I was like, oh, cool. I don't have to do anything. It can just do that for me, right? Um, this is insane to me. Like,
The
Is
fact
there
that you
any
can talk to it,
website? Is there any website that does the audio navigation thing?
I don't, not that I know of. Voice commands. It doesn't have a menu. Learning.
Like, come
oh,
on. That just
what?
Oh, I do want to
I'm
see what it
adding
can
that
do.
in. Now I'm gonna add that into the website just because I know that I can. And this world where like we talk about HubSpot or whatever software you're using, just being audio enabled, right? We've been thinking about talking to chats. I wasn't even thinking like
Not talking to your site.
Yeah.
homepage, like CRM, uh, contact record, like
And for me, like this, the floating thing is cool, but it's like I want it to be the case so much that basically, and I'll see if Claude can do this. Would be sick. This would be so sick.
yeah. No, you'll definitely be able to hotkey it, like if that's where you're
Oh,
going.
not even just no, not even, dude. Wait.
What would be cool is if there was a tooltip where like you could hover over the tooltip and it would give you like certain commands you could give it. And if one of the commands was conversation, it like opened up a chat bot where you could then start to like just have a chat with like the AI or the clone or something like that.
True. True. Hey, bud. So everything that you've done, amazing, utterly amazing. Just a couple things that I want to tweak though that I think could like really, really take it over the top, and it's gonna just like slap people so hard. Um, basically, when the user is on the site, anytime that their mouse isn't on something that they are able to click, it should have that microphone button so that they can just like very easily click to open the mic and give a command, right? So that they don't even have to like work too hard to do it. Just have it maybe a little bit smaller, like 20% smaller, and then just have it follow the mouse around the page wherever, again, wherever there's no clickable surface. And then in the profile, add something in there so that we can actually add additional commands. Like we'll give it a command, and then basically what it would do is search through the HTML and scrape till it finds some sort of word or hotkey or something like that that matches up to what the command is. And if it's on another page or whatever, just goes straight to that page. And what's sick is that same
Wow.
thing here. Like you could use Sonnet, you could use Haiku. Um, I'm definitely using Sonnet because this is not a small thing, not a small request, and
No,
we're
that's huge.
right.
Like
Yeah.
that's 2 weeks of a developer drinking 50 gallons of coffee and like Red Bull and staying up late and burning out.
Yeah.
Is what that
And
prompt.
probably not getting it right the first time and all the iterations. Like that's where like I mean, it shouldn't be surprising, but when you know that like Claude Code is one of the has been known for a minute and is used in so many of the wrapper applications for coding
Mhm.
that it's probably getting more run than any of the other like uh LLM coders. So it's not shouldn't be surprising that it does some of this stuff better. Um But also, like, I want to talk about the domain thing, like understanding what's happening in other places and then trying to apply it. Like when I gave this, when I went to like, oh, wait a second, I'm going to be using this on streams. So I wonder, like, where my mind went is like, oh, when I'm in Gamma, I can go into presenter mode. Like, I wonder if I can do that on my website, right? If I'm going to be using, and that's where, like, you see, well, you can't see. Let me get rid of this turkey guy. Um, you can see this normal and press P. So I press P, right? And the text gets a little bit bigger. And this is a theme. This is like a layer that is applied to the whole website, right? And I probably wouldn't even have thought of that had I not experienced it with Gamma,
Yeah.
right? And that, like, if you can just open the mind a little bit about what your website is supposed to be versus what it could be, man, like basically if it's happened in digital somewhere, means there's coded at some point and your AI agents can just like get it in there, right?
Yeah.
And like just think of all like, and we're just scratching the surface here, right? How we doing over here? Still working?
Still working, but this
It's
is what I
taking so
love.
long, Nico. Can't
Yeah, I know, right?
believe this.
So, like, this is one of the big differences that I love about Claude that you'll only see it with like Codex too. I haven't seen it with Gemini yet. But it took all of this time, right? Where it's like, oh my gosh, like it's still just doing whatever. It's reading every single file. It's going through and like looking at all the stuff, looking at the voice commands file, reading through all the lines of everything, going through whatever it needs to, right? All the way until it comes down to, uh, cool. Now I have a clear picture of the code base. Let me read the key files that I need to understand implementation before making any changes, right? So this is just with Sonnet. I can't imagine what it would be like with Opus. I absolutely like it has to be one shot without a doubt with like the most amazing like Charlie and the Chocolate Factory type shit you can possibly think of, right? Like I imagine with when you do it with Opus and you ask for something like, I don't know, I want an app that can, track all of my monthly subscriptions for me and, help me to like merge them all into a similar date or something like that, right? That's definitely like an ask, walk away, come back when it notifies you on your phone, and poof, you're gonna have that like done. Like Cherry can launch immediately through Vercel, can be used immediately, like no, like probably no necessary, like nothing outside of maybe you might have to set up like a super base or something like that back end. But even that is a matter of like clicks. It's not even anything that would throw you for a loop, right? In terms of like, I couldn't possibly do that. And every time I hear like, I can't do that, it's like, really? You can't ask the model how to help you do this thing that you don't know how to do? Surely you can.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, definitely. Things are going amazingly fast. I really like I knew that it was going to get towards this speed by the end of this year and that we would have like even the robotics have gotten to the same point that I thought we would get to. So, given that that's the case, actually, I think I just put together the gem version.
And one of my favorite things about so far about anti-gravity, this is where it's like it's hard not to see that this is going to become one of my workstations. And let me reiterate, like IDE meant nothing to me prior to like this week, right? I had not effectively used, and I say that word effectively, meaningfully, because Yeah, I had VS Studio on my desktop, tried it at some point in the past and said, "Oh, this is going to be the new thing." I got in there, it was clunky. I didn't it wasn't easy enough, right? So I just said, "Okay, I'll just go back to Claude and look forward to the day when this stuff gets easier and I could just do everything all in one place." It's starting to feel like that uh, in this um, in this environment, and uh, right here, you see that I prompted it with "please keep going," because at this point, like midst in the middle of the task, I hit the limit. I for Gemini Pro 3 high, right? And so if I would have been in Claude and I hit the limit, I'm done with that chat. I got to start a new chat. I get real frustrated,
Yeah.
right? Here, I just come down here and pick the next model. In this case, Claude Sonnet 4.5. And all I have to say is, please keep going.
Mhm.
And it looks at the previous chat, and then we keep going. Now I'm at the point where it says, I want to add this to my website as a subdomain at game.valuefirstteam.com. It's like, I can help you deploy that. Deployment questions. Where is it hosted? So number one, Vercel. Yes, I have DNS access. Would I prefer automated deployment, push to GitHub, auto deploy via Vercel? Yep. Automated. The game will need to be built for production. Should I create a production build now? Set up deployment configuration files. Both. Pretty sure the answer is both. And this is what's so funny, right? Like a lot of times it will quote like days, weeks, months as the amount of time it will take. Like as if I have to choose between both because you're just gonna knock them both out in 5 minutes. Like, why would it? Right? But oftentimes that's coming from like, oh, this is gonna take a minute. So which one do you want to do first? Again, that's like it's letting best practice development like coming in as if it's not the fastest, smartest thing that's ever existed.
Right.
Right. So I'm gonna answer there. And so this is how I've been working. Like I've never touched GitHub, and then all of a sudden I'm in there like pulling the shit out of some requests and merging branches and pulling up GitHub Assistant, and it's calling its agents into the fray and getting some stuff done, all the while telling me it can't do stuff, but it's pulling in agents. And then, so there's a learning curve, right? But once you figure out what the pieces are, it's like, oh, now I know it's going to tell me it can't do it because it's actually going to call an agent to do it. And for some reason, it hasn't figured out how to tell me that. It just says, no, I can't. Right. It's man, like the fact that every one of these has an assistant, right? That you can pull up, uh, and like, man, you just gotta start getting in here. Like, okay, review the plan, create a deployment plan. Yep, I trust you at this point. And and mind you, like for both of the apps that I've shown, not the game, there was a point where it was broke. They were broken and nothing was rendering right for a multi-hour period. Either I wasn't around or it took me a minute to work with the things, right? At one point, uh the point where I moved from Claude Code to anti-gravity doing stuff, like the first update of anti-gravity broke the whole site, right? And I did some stuff to fix it. I ended up going back to Claude Code, giving it the error messages. It fixed it on the first pass, right?
Yep.
So learning how to work with these tools I'd say is super valuable. Don't get as exciting as excited as I am for this experience. Uh, because in Cloud Code for Web, I can't add images and the multimodal stuff, but I still get to access Claude Sonnet like through this interface, and it's
Right.
interesting to learn like how this is like it's anti-gravity agent and then it's using models. Like just because anti-gravity is doing the thing doesn't mean it's using Google's model and understanding like what that means for the outputs. That's why it's been weird but also interesting to see that I can just say keep going and it switches models like and actually, does keep going effectively. And what I was going to say about the breaking thing, of course, like understand risk,
Yeah.
right? Like I'm doing like if I were building an app that I expected people to pay for and run on their own systems, on their own browsers, and uh, they expected 99.9% uptime. They expected everything to work right. There's a different development path, like, and a lot more of the iteration of security and the usual things that you'd expect. But if you're just, there's so much opportunity. If you have a catalog website that just has content on it, you could go tell Gemini or Claude to go look at that website and pimp it out, just like George just said, right?
Not
And
only pimp it out, but like you can ask Gemini to go look at the site and then go deep research content for your site and then give that to Claude Code to then tell it to like weave it into your site in various ways wherever it makes sense. And trust me, as you've seen with George's site already, that he put zero. He did not say put this text here, put that text here, put this thing here, put this thing here. I want this to be arranged this way. No, no.
None of that.
I mean, like
yeah,
it's nuts to me.
and that's where you have to be able to let go of what's been, because you could turn your entire damn website into the infrastructure that we're showing you in less than a day, right? And now you are prepared for this future that we're describing, which is right now, where literally one of the things I'm excited about working with like all the people that I've been doing content with, everybody's got ideas. It's literally somebody sends a Slack message, I copy paste that into Claude, say, give me a prompt to add this to the website, and then it's up, right? Like things should not take a long time anymore. The build part should be the easy part. The challenging part, like it's always been, is do you have the strategy in place? Do you have people aligned so that human nature will not get in the way of these quick decisions, these quick wins, right? So I've got to do some manual stuff here, right? Create GitHub repo. I'm just going to ask. I'm pretty sure the answer is no, but sometimes this is what it takes. Like it'll tell you to do the manual thing, even though it could do it for you, right? So I'm going to say, can't you create the repo for me? Because Gemini, when I was talking to it earlier, suggested that it might be able to. And now I'm about to lose my mind if it starts acting like an agent with a browser. which I think is what it's suggesting it's going to do. And it should ask me to sign in. Right. And now, of course, like if you know how to use GitHub, like I probably could have done it already by now. So learn the balance, but the more you let go and just decide to let the agents do the work, the easier all this gets. And the more that the agents like learn for you and the process that you're going to go through. So the agent's running and I can. It seems you haven't logged in yet. Yeah, because you wouldn't let me. Under, we go here. Yeah.
Cornerstones.
Nope. That's not the right. Here, I'll let you go while I figure this out.
I just wanted to see what it was going to do, but um, it's interesting. Like it does definitely have the floating thing. It's not quite what you're expecting, but the functionality is definitely there for it to actually work. Um,
Can
the
you get closer to your mic? You're
oh,
going in
sorry.
and out on
Oh,
us.
I'm sorry about that. Yeah, the mic aspect of it actually does work, but it's not a little bit, it's glitchy. Learning. But it does,
Wherever
still
you
have the
click.
same
Wow.
HQ. Yeah. So now UI has just been pretty much destroyed, right? Because like what I would love to do
What
if
would
I
be
have it
cool?
enabled.
What would be cool is if you under the main mic or next to the main mic, there's a info thing. You hover over it, and it tells you press M anywhere, and your cursor turns into the mic.
Yeah, true.
Then you
True.
could literally be like, click, click, click. Oh, M, baba, M, baba, like mic to talk to it.
By the way, I never showed you this 3D portal thing because I'm not entirely sure what it is.
Oh,
But
that's
it
interesting.
decided to make it.
Oh, deals,
So
omens, I don't know what that is.
I think the idea is that you would connect your
HubSpot.
token and it would then do like a 3D data map representation
Yeah.
of your CRM. Yeah,
So, uh,
pretty cool stuff. Pretty
so
cool.
keep going with this. I will let you know. Update. I've signed up for a free Vercel account. I have actually got it to the point where it's looking at my GitHub repository. I have not imported my GitHub repository yet because I've also connected my Claude code to my GitHub, and I've connected my ChatGPT to my GitHub. And my Gemini, I have connected to my GitHub. So I have all three of my AI tools connected to my GitHub and my GitHub connected to Vercel, but I haven't actually brought it into Vercel yet because right now I told Claude Code to look at the original file that I uploaded, that thing we were looking at Gemini, and use that to transform into all the files that we need to have a functioning website and start to build in the future. And it's literally sitting here building it right now.
Yeah. Meanwhile, I logged in. This is anti-gravity going through the process of creating a new repo. Oh, even put a description in for me. And looks like the repo is done. That's the thing. Like when
Yeah.
I when I read it from Gemini, and this is where like these days of when we just like, if you let the idea of hallucinations stop you from believing that these tools can do stuff. When it said that to me, I was like, oh, I don't know how it would do that. So I'm guessing that this is just a hallucination, right? Knowing that for the past week, I've watched it pull up browsers and do stuff in browsers, but I was not, it's only to test its own stuff, right?
Right.
At the local level,
Right.
right? But if it can do that, why couldn't it pull up a browser to do stuff on my behalf? So that's why I asked the question. Let's see, right? Gemini said it could do it. Like, let's see if it could. And it didn't. And as soon as it said, oh, yeah, I'll just pull up the browser, I'm like, oh, yeah, of course. Like, that's how it's going to do it. And now it goes through. This is why, like, as I was putting the pieces together, like, this is one of my new operation centers, right? If I can start operating from here, like GitHub repository created and code pushed successfully. Deploy to Vercel. Go to Vercel, import your repository.
Question: when you're importing a thing into Vercel, it gives you a framework preset. Is there a certain framework preset that you guys pick?
It should be automatic.
Mine just says other automatic. Yeah. Okay. I just want.
So I'm gonna pull up my Vercel. All right. And I think I need to go here and I'm gonna add the domain. Or actually I want to add new domain. All right. How about I just follow the directions that it gave me?
You follow that README?
Yeah. See, now I've got this active. Hopefully this open. Yeah. So there we go. It brought me right to the page that I needed to get to instead of me clicking around. It's like, what are you doing, human? Like, stop trying to do the stuff. Right? Oh, there it is. Silent run. We'll import. All right. Yeah. So when this, just as an example, George, when you hit import, it senses whatever the framework is. So in my case, it shows Vite because that's the framework. And we'll click deploy. And now I'm excited the fact that I know that the agent could have done this for me. Oh man. Folks, please stop building ebooks, like, for the love of all things holy. Unless it's like a fully interactive website that you want to call an ebook. Like, oh man, you just deployed a new project. Okay. Continue to dashboard. So right now, and this is where, so free Vercel, you can get to things like this, where it is, a shareable, like, proof of concept, basically, before I even add the subdomain, right? So this is hosted on the web. I could share, like, just I'm not lying. If you guys could, if somebody could go here.
Yeah, I just threw up
and share.
Yep.
And there it is, up on Nico's side.
Yep.
Right. And there's Nico playing it.
Oh shit. Oh shit.
Wow.
All right. So that's it on the
seems easier than it actually is.
Right. And did you notice that, like, when the white dot hit you, it said subscribe to newsletter ? Question mark. There's I'm naturally going to build that out because I love the concept. So that's like free Vercel, right? And to get to this proof of concept moment, like don't sweat. Like if you've got to get this far to help your team understand, like maybe we should rethink our website strategy or whatever it is. Like you can get to this proof of concept moment where you can remove all the barriers of like, oh, well, that's just in the LLM. Like, let's see it outside of the LLM, right? Oh, well, you shared that link. Well, I need to open up my own Vercel account so that I can see it. Like, nope. Like you can get to this part where it's just like, hey, share this link. What do you guys think? Right.
Right.
And by the way, as you're doing that now, if you can get any of that documented or or like there's a transcript, and then you just give it to you just let the AI help you. Like you just
Just
take
let
the
go.
words from the human and you just don't do anything, just add it into the AI.
That whole like period, because I remember, I mean, it lasted probably a good year where developers were saying like, "Oh yeah, and then you're gonna need us to come in and clean the code because it's gonna be all buggy and shit." And it's like, yeah, I kind of, I did. I experienced that like in January through like probably June, July, to be honest, like pretty hardcore. Obviously, it was worse in January than it was in July, but it was pretty gnarly. Then when I switched to like starting to use IDEs more and getting more comfortable with that and getting more comfortable with GitHub and then like migrating out of Replit and Firebase, things just changed dramatically. And it was just like, wow, really? What are you guys talking about in terms of like having to come clean up the code base? I literally just ask it to do that and then just watch it go do it. Like, I don't understand why you would have to like worry about, issues or errors or anything. Like it's building it. So you just ask it like, hey, go review the repo, like see if there's any security flaws, see if there's anything, missing or whatever. And even if you're unsure, like we've last weekend we did, or was it 2 weeks ago? I can't remember now. Yeah, when we were working on it, it's just a matter of like, hey, what should we look for when doing this? Right.
Yeah.
Or hey, I'm about to deploy the application. What should I keep in mind when doing this? Or what do I need to make sure I do before I do that? Or, hey, I'm thinking about putting in profiles. Like, what do we need to do in order to build user profiles? Like, again, just approaching it from that like 5-year-old mentality of like, just ask,
Yeah.
like, even the dumbest questions you can think of, and it'll tell you, like, "Yes, no, that's not possible," like, whatever it might be, like, so it
Yep.
took the Superhuman Academy from, like, the individual
All right.
little.
Yeah, I'm going to share a screen before we go there.
Yeah,
Like, this is where the tools matter a lot, right? Like, when WordPress says they've added in stuff, but still it's built on WordPress, the WordPress we've always known, they've got to fit that stuff into that, right? The likelihood that they get it right. This is what it means to be AI native versus not, right? Vercel, AI native. And what just happened was, so the one thing I've done outside of, I think I actually did it while we were on the show, but I added the subdomain, which isn't even showing up here. I got to refresh. I'm not going to show it, but it's there. uh, and because I already have my main domain over, like Vercel knows about it, that's where it's hosted. I literally, to go from this, right, proof of concept, and this is where the $20 comes into play, right? I went, click domains, add domain. I didn't do any setup. Like I added it at my domain provider. I didn't
mhm,
do any other setup in the back end of Vercel anywhere. It did not know about this subdomain before I typed it in right here, right? It adds it. I go back to deployments, and I hit refresh, and now it's at the subdomain,
Mhm.
right? At the professional, like business looking subdomain. Like there's been so many of that where it's like, oh, well, that's,
That's going
you
to take a
know,
whole day
that's
because
cool, but it's like people aren't going to trust that. How do we get it into our domain? And right, this is how easy it could be if you are using these tools. Like that motion of adding a subdomain as easily as I just did,
right.
like that hasn't happened like that, right?
No.
And that's why I say it, like any of your campaign, like the level of interactivity you could create into your digital experiences. Like this has been 45 minutes since I started building this, and now it's on a subdomain live on a on the on the business website. Like I can't. Oh, meanwhile,
Meanwhile, we took the
Uh-oh.
conceptual lessons and turned them into like actual interactive coursework. So now we can go through
man,
stones of
and I tell you
excellence.
what, back in 2011, as I was learning how to
Mm.
be a manager, like managing people for the first time, I went nuts on this spreadsheet where I took what I loved about Final Fantasy and I'm like, let me build this
Oh yeah.
XP based system that's going to be able to evaluate employees, and we're going to make it fun to like train on stuff. And it's hard. Like it's so hard without these tools, and it's not hard anymore. Like, and you just have to want to make that kind of stuff fun and innovative and like have a training program in the first place,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, because it's like where you thought it's that whole thing of like, oh yeah, well, effort and time. It's like, no, not anymore. Like now the effort is making the request and the time is is however long it takes the agent to do it.
Oh man.
So like that's where we're at, right? Like the whole thing in terms of like building websites, building applications, building extensions, like all of that kind of stuff. It's all just a matter of asking now. Like yeah, that's crazy. It's
Idea
crazy to
out
be
of
able
your
to say like,
brain, idea out of your brain into the model and go, right? Like for me, it's knowing that I can get to the end is so powerful. That's what lets me ask the first question, right? If I don't know that it's possible to get published, right? All these ideas are coming because at the beginning of this year, I was like, man, I look forward to the day when this is all like I can just go right to publish, right? And that's been possible, but there was additional steps. It took a little bit more, understanding of these systems.
mhm.
It's going to keep getting less and less and less. And we're going to be here to keep activating you. So what do you think, George? All set?
I don't know if I'm all set. I'm kind of stuck, but I'm stuck in a very interesting place, which I'm sure we can talk about at a later date. I'm super excited to see what's possible. My mind is blown. Um, I feel like I'm almost there. Almost there.
I look forward to Wednesday for sure.
Yes.
But until then, uh, we're gonna be back on Monday, right, Nico?
Mhm.
The
Yes.
morning show.
Yes.
Um,
Yeah, we should. Yeah, we will.
okay. Uh, well, it's a holiday week either way, so might be in and out with the content, but we're gonna do our best to
I'll try to stay the course.
keep informing you as to what's going on, what could be, and why you should be doing it, and why you should care. This is Tech Stack Reimagined. Thanks so much, fellas. We'll see you next time.
See ya.
Later.